Hello guys, it's Ivan Trades, and it's been a long time since I have done any trade recap. So today we are on Saturday, on I guess it's uh, 18th of October, and I wanted to make a trade recap on a trade which I took on Friday yesterday, and so let's get straight into it because I don't want this video to be a long one. So it was a no-news Friday, and as you can see, it was a very big fat bullish candle with a large wick. And so far, my high time frame bias was initially bearish, but I reversed my bias to bullish, and in brief, the trade which I took was invalidated. So on the high time frame, you can see that the price made a low. Whilst making that low, the price made a pretty large run during the Asian session. So it made on the 1 hour time frame, you can see it clearly right here. The price opened right here at 6 p.m. and ran straight to the sell side liquidity, purging the Thursday, Wednesday, and Tuesday's lows, and price stopped in advance of the Monday's low right here, the previous Friday's low. The reason being the price made a bullish SMT divergence with S&P 500, reminding you that I took this trade on US 100 cash, or if you trade futures it is Nasdaq or NQ. So the price stopped in advance of this low because it already took out the same low right here on this chart with blue candles, which is the SPX 500. So that is why this low of the week was put in right here in advance of touching the weekly open, even though the price actually did tap into the weekly open on the futures chart, which I will show you later on. So on the hourly time frame, I mistaken my bias for bearish because the price still needed to tap into this weekly open, but seeing this V-shaped reverse, so you can see that there was no room for searching for low prices, specifically after the 9 a.m. candle opened low into this hourly fair value gap. You can see it right here that I annotated imbalance high and the imbalance low right here. This was a fair value gap which was very important in supporting price towards the upside. So the premise that I took on this trade, the first trade, which was a loss after the price opened a little bit high after sweeping the 8 a.m. candle right here. There was a divergence on these highs by that time after 8 a.m. because if you can see it clearly, this high right here was already taken out during 8 a.m. on the what it hasn't been taken out on US 100, but already the SPX 500 has already taken it out. So that was my reasoning for being bearish. So I was still expecting a retracement to the downside. So that was the premise of me taking this 5-minute sell trade, which was immediately invalidated. As you can see, we opened high. Let me move this to the upside. You can see that the 9 a.m. up to this 8 a.m. highs right here and made a bearish change of character or change in state of delivery upon closing below this 9:30 candle. So I was expecting the price to continue to the downside, but my trade got pretty much invalidated almost immediately. So I switched my bias to bullish, but already, if you can tell, this price action was not, it was not preferable for expecting more range to the upside, because market have moved a lot of range to expect a continuation towards the previous day's high, which I was targeting. So the previous day's high essentially was this one, which was on Thursday, which was formed at 10:35 a.m. But this was my lowest and objective, because it is the intersection of the previous day's high and Wednesday's high. So as long as I could get a 1 to 2 risk to reward ratio was good enough for me. So the reason why I changed my bias to bullish was that we were reacting off of this hourly fair value gap, and we formed a changing state of delivery to push towards the upside. And also, in addition, you can see clearly that this low right here, which was formed at 10 a.m. opened low side of this 5-minute fair value gap and made a tiny divergence with S&P 500. I don't think you can see it clearly right here. If you look at this chart with blue candles, you can see that this low right here, which was from that 950, was taken out, but not on the US 100. So that was what gave me confidence that this low could be my invalidation for the buy program towards the buy side objectives, specifically previous day, which was Thursday's high. So the price ended up pushing one more move to the upside and gyrated down to the downside until it stopped me out. But you can see that this was a little bit higher probability, because I was trading towards inside of the high time frame order flow, which was bullish. And even though I got stopped out right here, the only reason that I took this buy trade was that I under risked on this first trade. If had I reached my daily loss limit, which I set for myself, I wouldn't have engaged in this. So that is why I think you have already seen in my execution video, I under risked because I lost only like $3 right here on the first trade, and this one I took the rest of daily drawdown limit, which I was left with. So both trades were losers, but overall, the reason why I think the second one was pretty much the best trade is that it was in the direction of the order flow. I didn't want to catch the highs or the lows of the day. So if you go down a little bit to the hourly time frame, you can see another confluence which I didn't pay a lot of attention to, was that this high was actually formed at 10:15, which is a key time of interest. And so I end up being stopped out right here, and pretty much my day was done. I stayed away the market pretty much the rest of the week. So that was the trade which I wanted to discuss a little bit about. And if I have missed something according to maybe your strategy, put it in the comments. I'd like to hear more about you, and I hope you learned something to try your chances and learn even from your losers. The reason why I like to do trade recaps on the trades which I lost is that I always learn something from my losses. Uh, Pretty much most of the times more than my winners. So that is something I think which have helped me to improve a lot in my journey, and I hope that it will help you too. So that was it, and I think I see you in the next one. Thank you. It's Ivan Trades, and pretty much I share my trade analysis on my free Telegram channel, which you can check out. It's called Ivan Trades channel. I think I'll write it in the description of the video. So thank you.